Wow, the sun is beating on my face. Oh my gosh. Wow. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be a little more informative. This is something that I feel like we all deal with, and I just wanted to make a relevant video, whether you see this now when I post it, when I first post it, or whether you see it in a year. Now, I do want to make a disclaimer. This is all from personal experience. I'm not certified, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. So by all means, take everything that I'm saying with a grain of salt. Maybe take some ideas and incorporate them in your life and see how they work for you. These are my top 5 tips. There's obviously a ton more, but these are the top 5 that I can think of on the top of my head that I feel are a culprit and are an issue or can have some impact and why people tend to bloat a lot. So I feel like as women, bloating is such a common thing. So I really wanted to talk about this, especially with the holidays coming around. You know, don't be alarmed. We're all gonna probably eat all day, but that's okay. You know, it's the holidays. You know, that's what we do. I wanted to start with water. Your water intake. You want to stay hydrated, because whenever you're not hydrated, actually more times than not, you're going to be dehydrated without even knowing it. And your body is then going to hold on to the water that you are feeding it. Yeah, that's the right word, right? Feeding it. So your body's just gonna hold on to the water, the little water that it has. The thing about drinking a lot of water is it flushes out retention, like fluid retention, and it cleanses you out. It helps your liver just work properly. Water also aids in digestion a lot. Why I emphasize this so much is because I do have ulcerative colitis, so water is a big must in what I do regularly. Like, just drinking water should be something that I should be doing subconsciously all the time. And I notice that when I'm not, TMI, but things, the pipes aren't running properly. I don't know how else you would put that without being a little too TMI, but you know what I mean. So it just helps your digestive system run its course and run properly, and it helps it do its thing. So water is just number one. I feel like it is with everyone, everyone should be drinking water. Bloating is an issue because the water helps a lot. So my next tip is sodium, your sodium intake. Salt, which is salt. So a lot of things have sodium, a lot. Even if you go to the store and you buy like chicken broth, chicken stock, and I could say low sodium, you'll look at it and it just has so much, and it's just insane. I think, if I am not mistaken, I think even the ones that say no sodium, they still do. No, that wouldn't make sense. So you want to be checking labels, because a lot of people don't understand this. I've had people ask me, like, what do I do when I'm holding water weight, fluid weight? And I tell them, drink a lot of water. Like, water releases all the water in your body, and then they kind of look at me like this girl doesn't know what she's talking about. It's mostly fluid retention. So you want to minimize your sodium intake. I mean, don't get me wrong, salt is good for you. Salt is a mineral you should be consuming. Salt is really good for you. There's even people that in their morning lemon water, they'll put a little sprinkle of pink Himalayan salt, and that's totally fine. You should be consuming salt. You do not want to cut out salt completely, but you do want to minimize it, just like everything else. Everything is good in moderation. Even good things can be bad if they're taken in excess. Ever since I, lowered my sodium intake, I'm very conscious of how much salt I use. And I don't use iodized salt. That's like a big no-no. That's like regular table salt. You're better off using more natural stuff like pink Himalayan salt, Celtic salt. They're less processed. I don't know if you guys have ever had an experience where you eat something that's very high in sodium and you know, you take a nap or you go to bed, and then the next morning you wake up and you just feel swollen. Like I have friends that swell up so bad on their face. Their lips will look so insane, and their eyes will swell up like crazy. And I just feel so bad for them. I'm like, dude, go drink like a freaking gallon of water. Just flush all of that out, because it will flush all of that sodium out of you, and it'll immediately like relieve that like sodium that you have in your body. I personally swell up in my hands, like my fingers and my toes. Like if I like close my fingers like this, I will feel it. Like they'll feel like sausage fingers. Like it's just not a pleasant feeling. It feels really weird, and that's how I know that I ate a lot of salt. So I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm human. I love food, you know, I love everything in moderation. I really like try to live a balanced diet, using the diet word very lightly. You know, not everybody has that experience, and there are people that don't have that experience at all, and you might think like, oh girl, well, if you have that, then you got issues, because I don't have that. I don't swell up like that, and that's cool. But just know that just because you're not experiencing that on the outside doesn't mean that it's not causing harm on the inside. Consuming excess sodium actually increases blood pressure, because the body is holding more fluids, and it causes a burden on your heart. So, you know, you are at higher risk of developing high blood pressure in the future. So just keep that in mind. Just throwing that out there. If you don't feel it, you don't feel it. But if you're consuming a lot of salt, just know that even if you're not feeling symptoms on the outside, you know, your body's just working on the inside. It's working harder than it normally would and normally should. That's how sodium affects your bloat. When you retain water, that's when you have that little gut, and that's your body retaining sodium, just like water retention, fluid retention. The more you drink water, the more you flush things out, the more you lean out on your tummy. As females, we tend to hold a lot of the bloat or fat on our lower belly. So when you drink water and reduce your sodium and your fluid retention, you know, you flatten out. So that's how I go back to my tip number one: drink tons of water. You know, if you have some wings or a pizza or something high in salt, that's fine. Just drink a lot of water and flush all that sodium out. Tip number three, I don't even think it's like a tip. I think it's more so like something to be aware of, is intolerances or allergies. Those could be a very big issue. I feel like the older that I'm getting, I am listening to my body a little bit more. I'm being more conscious, more aware of what I'm eating. I'm very passionate about nutrition and health, so I've experimented a lot with food. I've cut certain foods out, like certain not food groups, but certain more so like grains and stuff like that. So I feel like there's still so much to learn about my body, but for the most part, I feel like I'm starting to get a hang of it. I have completely cut out cow's milk. It's been like 5 years. Dairy, you know, any dairy, I tend to just really consume it at a minimum. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I love chocolate. That's like, I'm the biggest sweet tooth ever. Like, one thing would be if I was like a candy sweet tooth, but I'm more so like a chocolate sweet tooth, like dairy, you know, milk, chocolate, like just rich. So like, anyways, yeah, so that's part of living a balanced diet, that I'm not restricting myself, because then I'd go crazy. I've been listening to my body, and I noticed that dairy is just something that I'm intolerant to, and I know that, like, cheeses have at a minimum, but I will indulge and I will have them. It's just life, you know. So another thing is gluten, and I feel like I just recently found this one out, maybe about a year ago, a year and a half, because I just couldn't understand like why, like I just didn't really research it at the time, I don't think, but I did notice that anytime I have like bread or like white pasta, certain carbohydrates and they bloat me so bad to the point where it hurts. Like TMI, but I would hold a lot of gas, and another TMI is that it won't pass, and all I wanted to do is just pass some gas, you know. This is so funny that I'm talking about this, but I mean, whatever. Yeah, it would get to the point where it would just hurt. Like the bloat would be so bad that it would hurt like crazy, and I just didn't understand it. And I started experimenting once again, and I was like, okay, let me cut out some carbs. Not carbs. Let me cut out gluten. So I cut out gluten from my diet, and I immediately felt better, and I wasn't bloating or anything. Like, it's just so instant. It would bloat me so instantly, and I just did not understand what it was. So you can either take an allergy test, but I believe they're really expensive, and I've never taken one, but I do want to take one eventually. Just maybe not right now, you know, COVID, but everyone's broke right now. Nobody's trying to spend money like that, but just play around with your foods, just experiment, see, try cutting out certain things from your diet that tend to bloat a lot. So like dairy, things that are acidic. Try it out for a week. Maybe even after a few days you'll see a difference. It's just insane. When you're intolerant or allergic to something, you will just feel like a crazy difference. As soon as I started cutting out dairy, mostly milk completely, and limit my dairy intake, like cheeses, and that's like an indulgence to me. And so is gluten. Like if there's a cookie, you know, and I want to have that cookie, as soon as I cut it out from my diet, like having it on a regular basis, I noticed a crazy difference. Like I was feeling so tired, lethargic, and very moody, out of energy. Like I didn't want to do anything. That's a way that you can interpret and notice that something isn't sitting right, and then you can go from there. Intolerances and allergies, they do cause a lot of bloating, because a lot of that affects your digestive system. Could even cause constipation and certain things like that, cause a ton of gas that's just stuck in your digestive tract. That's how it affects your belly, and it affects, you know, and it causes bloating because everything's going on in the tummy. And so just be aware of that and try certain things out and see what works for you. So my fourth tip is sweating, and that's a very like, okay, sweating is, I feel like these all kind of go together. That's why I put them down. You are releasing water, fluid retention, all that sodium. You're releasing all of that through your pores. So it's really good to just, you know, go to the gym, get a like 10-minute HIIT session on. I totally love HIIT because it's super quick. I'm gonna make a video about my favorite HIIT workouts, so stay tuned. But anyway, let's move on. I don't know how to talk without getting out of topic, but anyway, sweating is a really big one, and you can't really spot reduce. Like some people think that if you do abs every single day that you're gonna completely lose fat there, but that's not necessarily how it works. Kind of, you know, if you grow muscle in that area, your muscle burns fat, so therefore it does lead to losing fat. But when it comes to bloating, that's more so water retention, fluid retention, and sweating is a really quick way to just release all of those toxins and all of those fluids. Another thing that you can do is use a waist trainer, like a waist trimmer. There are waist trainers that you're meant to use just like around the house, but not necessarily work out with them, but there are some that you can work out with. And I wanted to show you guys Sweet Sweat. That's like a very, I feel like a lot of people know about Sweet Sweat. I wanted to show you guys this one because it helps that area sweat more. So, you know, you got your band. So this is just like a band, and the inside is material. So you can use this on its own, or you can also use, what is this, like a, it's a gel. So this is like a gel that you can apply. It's a workout enhancer, sweat enhancer. So yeah, Sweet Sweat. They have like the tub, but I ended up losing it, and my boyfriend got me this the waist trimmer, because I didn't have that before, and then he ended up getting me the stick, which I was so happy about because I love the tub, but I feel like it's kind of annoying having to stick your fingers in there and get them all dirty, and you know, like I just want to glide this on and start my workout. And you just apply it to your area that you want to target, you know, lower belly, your love handles, like me. That's where I struggle. I struggle with my love handles. So you just apply this and then put your waist trimmer on top. You obviously don't have to do that. There's a lot of times where I don't want to put the gel on, but it does help you sweat a lot more. But just using the band helps alone. And I'm telling you, 10 minutes on the treadmill doing HIIT or any workout honestly will have you dripping like crazy. Just keep in mind that using things like this, they're not like a easy like cheat remedy to just lose fat on your stomach, or you know, this just kind of helps you like sweat more in that area. And this type of stuff doesn't work unless you follow a good diet as well and a good workout regimen. So you want to keep that in mind. It's not like an easy way out. I wish there was like a magic pill, but I really recommend this. Using something like this. This is like an addition to bleeding out down there. This helps that area sweat, and it'll reduce your bloat. It'll get rid of all the excess fluid that your body is retaining. And lastly, I feel like this one, I don't know if a lot of people consider this or think about this, but teas are very, very good for de-bloating, and they're just really good to be drinking throughout the day. Normally I like to have a tea in the morning and a tea at night if I'm feeling a little frisky, a little spicy, a little sexy. Just kidding. I have 3, but that's just because I just love tea. Like, I'm obsessed with tea. Different types of teas. There's teas for absolutely everything. There's teas that are used for a lot of things, but tea is something that I really, really rely on when it comes to de-bloating, because a lot of teas aid in digestion, and when things are running smooth down there, then you hardly ever have bloat. So I've tried so many teas, but these are like my top favorite right now. I think this one's new because I saw it on an ad and I just had to go get it because it intrigued me. If you're a tea addict and you have like a whole thing of tea in your cabinet, then you know how I feel when you find out about a new tea. You just have to go try it. This is by the Yogi brand, and it's the Blackberry Apple Cider Digestive Awakening. I really like it. It's yummy, it tastes good. I like their teas. I like trying any brand of tea, but yeah, this was really good for your it says it supports healthy digestion. So you know, once again, if things are running their course down there, then the bloat is no more. I feel like this one's my number one favorite. Ginger turmeric. It supports healthy digestion, and yeah, it's this one by Great Value, the organic brand. So this is a Walmart brand, you guys. This is like $2 and it's freaking amazing. It's literally my favorite. My boyfriend and I are obsessed with this one. I literally have to get like 3 boxes at a time because I'll use 2 tea bags at a time. I just love it so much. You know, I'm indulging a little bit, okay? Anytime that I feel like having some pizza or wings for wing night, the next morning, it's just, I am dealing with it. I'm going through it. I'm going through all these emotions, and I'm dealing with the consequences of having delicious, scrumptious, fried, salty food. So yeah, you know, my body's hating me the next day and I feel like complete shit. Like, I feel like crap. So this one has been a lifesaver so many times. I'm not even kidding you. From this experience that I had with this tea, my boyfriend and I actually experienced it together. We had some food, I forgot what it was a while back when we first tried this tea, and we both felt like crap. So, you know, I made us both a tea and we started drinking our tea. Like midway through drinking our tea, first of all, I literally felt like immediate relief. Like everything was starting to flush away, and it just made me feel so, it just made us feel so much better. And we were kind of in shock how quickly it worked. It tastes really good. It has a really good flavor, and I feel like I'm the type of person that, like, you know, if you like green tea, I'm kind of like, green tea is kind of boring. You know, green tea is really good for debloating as well, but I just feel like it's kind of boring. It doesn't really have like a taste, you know. And obviously there's no additives, there's no sugar added, nothing is added. It tastes so good, and it makes me want to continue drinking, and I could drink it all the time. Teas are a major go-to, you guys, and that's my last tip. Like I said, there could be many more things that affect you negatively and cause bloating, but these are mine from my experience, and I thought that they're very like common to use. I hope this video was informative for you guys and relevant and interesting. I would like to know what you guys think, so leave comments below, and please subscribe, support my channel, give it a thumbs up, just so I know that you guys enjoy these kind of videos and I can continue making them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Messy hair, don't care.